These three operators are coming to you with Operation White Noise, and let's break them down piece by piece, gadget by gadget, and let's start off with ZOPHIA. Here's a quick look at her.
I decide when to restrain and when to kill. Only the best call the shots.
That is ZOPHIA Balsac. Amazing.
Amazing.
Clearly, ZOPHIA is the sister of Ella, the older sister. She is more decisive, more resilient, and more experienced in her work. She actually joined Team Rainbow to connect closer with her sister Ella, and we cannot wait to break down her gadget. Simon, let's take a look at it and tell us what your game design intentions were behind ZOPHIA.
So with ZOPHIA, we wanted to make a really strong pusher, an aggressive entry fragger that has a lot of tools at her disposition.
Absolutely, and so it comes with two kinds of ammo. And
absolutely, it comes equipped with a KS-79 Lifeline, which is a dual barrel grenade launcher. And yeah, so as you were saying, she has two types of ammo. The first type being an impact grenade that will destroy soft surfaces. And the second type of ammo is proximity proximity grenades. So as you can see, she uses the impact first and then the concussion so she can get the entry frag.
So clearly this is, she shares a little bit of similarities with Ella. And what other kind of similarities does she share?
Well, you know, since they are sisters, you know, they are, well, right now what we're seeing is that she is able to get herself back up from DBNO with 1 HP.
The crowd is going crazy for that.
They're going crazy.
So clearly Ella had that situational DBNO feature where she could blow her last grenade and maybe have a little bit of a situational advantage against an opponent attacking her.
Exactly.
And now ZOPHIA has something similar.
So she has the ability to withstand DBNO while channeling for 5 seconds this animation, and she gets up with 1 HP. She'll be very fragile, but maybe she can get some more kills in.
Now you mentioned that ZOPHIA comes equipped with a concussion grenade mine that's sort of similar to Ella's. But she also shares something similar, like even closer to Ella, when like some kind of special ability happens.
Absolutely.
Right?
So since they are sisters, they are each resistant to each other's abilities. So the effect of Ella's mine will be shortened drastically, and vice versa. Ella herself will not be affected as strongly by her proximity or concussion grenades.
So they're less affected by each other's gadgets.
Exactly.
And that's really cool, tying in a little bit of that storyline with Ella and ZOPHIA, which is really cool.
Exactly, they are each other's soft counter.
Yeah, so that is a quick look at ZOPHIA's gadget and her special abilities. So let's take a look at her loadout.
So she is a 2-speed 2 armor. We felt like this was the right spot for her. We didn't want her to be too aggressive, but we also wanted her to be resilient. So she can take a little more in.
A little bit of a beating, but yeah,
exactly.
But she's also not like a super roamer. But she comes with that utility, as you were saying. And let's take a look at her primary and secondary weapons.
So she comes equipped with the LMG-E, which is a LMG with a 150 bullet magazine. She comes with the M762, which is a more standard assault rifle with a 30 mag capacity. And she also has the PR-15, which is Ella's pistol, which comes equipped with the red dot sight.
So both Ella and ZOPHIA are going to be a force to be reckoned with this secondary, with the red dot sight, and a gun. ZOPHIA comes with a LMG with 150
Yeah,
bullets.
she can lay suppressive fire all day.
So a ton of utility with this operator. Let's take a look at some of her gameplay footage in action and what it kind of looks like. So Simon, how do you feel as though ZOPHIA is going to play in Pro League?
I think it's going to be interesting to see with what operator the teams replace her with. Like, I feel like she is a very good alternative to Ashe. Yes, she doesn't have the same amount of speed and explosiveness as Ashe has, but she also brings more utility, which could be very useful in a lot of situations.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how Ashe mains may switch over to ZOPHIA. Maybe they swap between each other, and maybe depending upon the strategy of the defenders, maybe they switch over to ZOPHIA.
Yeah, exactly. And our 2 impact grenades are able to take out barbed wire. So we know Ashe uses a lot of her explosive grenades for barbed wires. Well, ZOPHIA can bring that to the...
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the key things in Pro League that we've seen is that those barbed wires becoming so key at slowing down enemies, and even those traps do her impact grenades blow up traps as well.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting to see if they think it's an interesting choice to trade a little speed for utility.
Yeah, and I think with her strong loadout, with her LMG and AR, it's going to be really interesting to see how she plays out.
And one more thing to note is that she can be quite the playmaker because her concussion grenades can actually bounce off walls, so you don't have to expose yourself to get a concussion grenade in. So if you know, like, the defender is hiding behind a cover, you don't even need to expose yourself. You try to do a little trick shot with the door frame, and then you get in and you grab the frag.
So super utility. You don't even need to see the opponent to shoot her grenades in.
Exactly, and really cool. As we just saw, it's really proximity based. So as soon as the proximity grenade flies near the defender, it will explode instantly.
And then it'll hit multiple defenders.
And
right?
it will hit multiple defenders, and even herself if she gets caught in the radius, just as Ella's with her mines.
Yeah, and we're noticing that it's a similar effect to Ella, but slightly different. Is about the same time length that it lasts?
It's about the same length. We wanted to have like this kind of like a wink at her sister. They're really like connected, and yeah.
Yeah, and I think even they have a few voice lines together that you might be able to hear if you're playing as ZOPHIA and Ella's in the game too.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I think the narration team had a lot of fun with that and put a bit of playfulness into the game, which is really great. Yeah, really great. So that is a look at ZOPHIA, and let's take a look at our next operator, Vigil, that is coming with Operation White Noise.
You never saw me coming. Don't feel so bad. Nobody ever sees me. I'm in everyone's blind spot.
Really, what a cool CGI trailer for Vigil. That's one of the coolest ones I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's really badass.
And one of our lead writers, Lucien Souben, described Vigil for me, and I wrote it down real quick because his backstory is really interesting. So Vigil is an orphan tortured by his experiences. He turned his pain into a path of discipline, but because of the hardships he's faced, he's most comfortable behind his mask. He prefers to be invisible, and that's exactly what his abilities show him to do. So obviously, there is some kind of cloaking ability that he has. Why don't we break down his gadget, Simon? What are the game design intentions behind Vigil?
So with Vigil, we wanted to have a roamer that is extremely strong. Like he comes equipped with the electronic rendering cloak, and that renders him invisible to drones. Obviously, for a roamer, a lurker, this is a very strong ability because the drones are the #1 enemy of the roamers and lurkers. That's how they get found out.
It's a really interesting ability, and let's see it in action from Vigil's perspective. And why don't you break it down for us?
So we'll see Vigil just activating his cloaking ability, and then you will see the drone coming in, and he has a white light. because the computer in Vigil's back is actively hacking the drone's feed to remove his image from it.
And there you can see a little bit of a HUD indication that you are invisible and you are cloaked to that drone. Additionally, it works, I noticed a timer bar for the ability icon. How does that work?
Yeah, it works on the cooldown similar to Caveira's, so he can use it, stay in it, he can move around, and then that's it. When it runs out, it has to refill up until he can use it again.
Now, let's take a look at what that looks like from the attacker's perspective while in the drone view.
So the drone is just rolling in, and Vigil just vanishes from the vision of the drone.
As we hear the crowd just go react to that, and they just cheered, and we're just like blown away by that.
It just looks
so cool.
great.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I love the sort of cloaking effect. A visual that looks that's great. And additionally, we saw the same UI HUD that is present there. So what happens when a drone comes close to Vigil while he's already cloaked?
So while you're in a drone, you will get close to Vigil and you will get that HUD increase. But even if you get close to him, the HUD will not grow any stronger. So the design intention behind that is that when Vigil is invisible, you will know that he's in the room, but you cannot tell where he is. You cannot pinpoint his position.
Really amazing stuff. And obviously, what's that range that they can detect him at?
The range is about 12 meters. So the HUD vignette will increase from 12 to 8 meters. But after from 8 meters to Vigil, you cannot pinpoint him.
So if he's in a small room you throw your drone in there, you drive your drone in there, you'll be able to see Vigil or actually know that he's in that room, but you won't actually be able to see him. You won't know exactly where he is, but you will get that HUD feedback on him. Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool. So let's take a look at his loadout and break down some of those details.
So, of course, he's a roamer, so he needs to be 3-speed, 1 armor. He's a very aggressive defender. He's a lot of fun to play with. And he has a pretty cool selection of weapons too.
Yeah, let's take a look at his primary and secondary weapons.
So he comes equipped with the K1A1, which is a submachine gun, 30 mags. And he comes equipped with 2 machines pistol as secondaries. But the real special weapon here is the shotgun, the Boss G22. It's really a unique shotgun. We've never did anything like it in the game. And so the way it works is that it's a shotgun that has 2 pellets. And it doesn't fire, when you fire it, it doesn't fire 8 pellets. It fires just only a single buckshot. And so...
So how does that work? It's obviously really powerful. And
exactly.
But it's going to be a bit of a high risk, high reward.
Exactly. You only get 2 shots with him. That's it. But it's a very high damage weapon. So you'll have to be very confident in your shots, because if you miss them, it's bye-bye.
I can only see now a cloaked Vigil just walking around a corner, entirely an unexpected person on their drone, just droning out a room, and he just comes around a corner with that slug shotgun.
He's terrifying.
That is really scary. So obviously a lot of utility, a lot of situational advantages for Vigil. And but let's take a look at some of his counter picks as well. So who would you say is a good counter pick?
His nemesis is obviously IQ, because whenever he has his electronic rendering cloak active, IQ will track him in real time as he moves around. And so he cannot hide from IQ unless he turns it off.
That is amazing. That is really cool. His counter picks become really important, and
absolutely.
And IQ is really his nemesis against him.
Yeah.
Really cool. Great. So let's take a look at some of his gameplay footage here with looking at Vigil.
Well, actually, Justin, there is 2 more softer counters to Vigil, which is Thatcher and Twitch. Thatcher, if he gets caught in the radius, will temporarily disable his electronic rendering cloak. And for Twitch, if by chance you arrive and you manage to pinpoint him and shoot him, it will disable his cloaking with the Twitch drone.
So Twitch's drone will be able to disable Vigil's cloaking.
Exactly.
Ability. So, but she won't be able to see him, right?
No, she won't be able to see him from the drone. Only if she gets a shot if she knows where he is.
So she'll just get the HUD indication, and then if she just happens to hit him, he'll break.
Exactly.
That's really cool. All right, so now Let's take a look at the gameplay footage of Vigil in action, and tell us a little bit about how you foresee Pro League actually integrating a character like Vigil.
Oh man, he's going to be one of the more interesting characters we're going to see in Pro League. I think he's a huge meta changer because